Good morning. How are we all doing? Welcome into twitch.tv/Ice Cream Plus. My name is Graham Day, and I'm joined by a man in a studio. I'll read Bib.
Morning. How are you doing?
Yeah, it's about. Oh, your audio sounds like you were miles away from the microphone then. It sounded like you were at the other side of the room. Say something.
Oh,
there we go. Now that sounded a bit
hello.
better. Oh, kind of. Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's good. So we, if you are new into the stream, hey, how you doing? My name's Graham. This is Bib. We are Ice Cream Uploads in true Ice Cream fashion. This is the Scoop, the UK's #1 video game podcast, if we do say so ourselves. We are live on twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads, where we go live each and every single weekday at 10 a.m. ish.
Doing well today.
It's not too bad. 11:32. We'll take that. That's like first thing in the morning, crack of dawn for us. That recently.
Yeah. Nice.
So yeah, we go live at 10 a.m. ish, and the ish is there because we work in the video games industry, and the scoops fit around the streams. Around the work, should I say. The scoops are the streams. They fit around the work. So whenever we can fit in the streams, we fit them in. It's usually around 10 a.m. It happens usually around 10 to 12. Mm-hmm. Between that sort of like 10 to 12, not 10 to 12. But sometimes it does happen at 10 to 12. So like yesterday, there you go. But between 10 and 12 is usually what time we go live. 10 a.m.-ish with the scoops. We will give you our thoughts and impressions of the biggest, the best, the breaking stories from the world of video games. And then we want your thoughts and impressions. And then we want your thoughts and impressions on our thoughts and impressions. That's how this works. Please do feel free to get involved, because not only are we live on twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads, but we put this live stream out as a podcast, a video on YouTube, and an audio podcast on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, and Google Play. So please do feel free to get involved over the next hour or so. Excuse me. The reason I've got Bibby full screen is I know that not everyone has seen this yet. We do have a nice studio setup, not being fully utilised this week because I'm working from home this week, half term and that. But Bibby is in the majestic studio. However, it doesn't sound quite majestic today because, as with anything that has a big, wonderful, all singing, all dancing studio that you rip apart and put back together every 5 seconds, sometimes when you put it back together, even though it's exactly the same process that you've just done 5 seconds before, things just decide, I'm not going to work. So, as you can see right on the edge of Bibby's screen, it's not one of our Wave 3 microphones, but it's our Yeti microphone. We have a Yeti, we have a couple of Yetis in the studio, and not the one that's holding the microphones. So yeah, there you go. The Yetis are all wonderful USB mics, but just for some reason they decided they weren't playing. So Bibby's audio, if you are listening to this, you will notice it sounds a little bit tinnier, but that's because he's using a wireless headset. But other than that, you've still got audio. It's good. We're all good. It's nice. So if you are in the chat, please do feel free to get involved over the next hour or so as we jump through the stories. We will give you our thoughts and impressions, and we do want your thoughts and impressions. But before we jump into that, let me remind you that you only have a few days left to enter our loot drop for November. The loot drop is a way that we give back to you guys, our viewers, our listeners, our audience, our community. We give back to you by allowing subscribers to win prizes, or at least one subscriber anyway. One person every month bags themselves a prize just for being a sub. All you need to do is subscribe to the channel and be in the Discord. If you're not in the Discord, you're not in the loot drop. You need to be in the Discord. Also, you need to have your Twitch and Discord accounts linked. If you can see the loot drop channel in our Discord, you're in the raffle. That's the simple reason. One person in that raffle will bag themselves a copy of Call of Duty Vanguard this month. That will be confirmed on Monday. So Monday, the 1st of November, one person will find out who is winning Call of Duty Vanguard for when the full game launches on the 5th. Make sure you get involved. Kane, good morning. He says, oi, I'll read. How's things, Kane? Are you not? Are you not playing today? You're not in any games, Kane? I do need to show you this as well, by the way. Boom! Yeah! Ice Cream United! Whoop 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 whoop! Kin and Franny have been rejoicing at the United Liverpool situation with Solar emotes. So we've got we've got Ice Cream United emotes. It's Ice Cream United, so it's not copyright infringement. And for balance, no trademarks. And for balance, because I'm not the only one on this channel. We also have Ice Cream City as well. So yeah, there we go. Not everyone gets access to those, by the way. That's just for us, for our banner reasons. So we're not filling out emote slots because I know a lot of people wouldn't want to use a City emote. I know a lot of people wouldn't want to use a United emote. So we've just stuck those as tier 3. So just they're for us. Whenever people bring up the football, we can throw them back out. But yes, if you are in the chat, please do feel free to get involved. As OB1079 did, he said, "Why the fuck are you tagging me? We're not tagging you. You can't get tagged like that on Twitch." So our go live notification is Ice Cream Uploads tagged you in their stream. To bring people in, and it clearly worked with OB. So we weren't tagging you. We just wanted to have a conversation, and we wanted you to be here, and it worked. So hey, good morning, Crocodile. Good morning, dude. What's up, dogs? What's up, you? In time for the scoop. Yeah, let's go. Enix with the lulls. All right, Enix. Yeah, nice one. Yeah. So yeah, Enix. If you want the Ice Up United, I'm afraid you have to be a tier 3 sub. So if you want it, go get. Don't bother. Do you know? After Halloween, we'll have some spaces. We'll drop them into general emotes for a little bit, so people can use them. But then we'll probably shunt them back out into tier 3 or something a little bit later on, so more people can have more functional emotes. But there you go. Anyway, babe, what did you get up to last night?
Just played football. Football 5-a-side, indoor. Legs are hurting, chest is hurting, body's hurting, face is hurting. Right foot's hurting from scoring an hat-trick. Do you know what I mean? Just don't worry about that. Just what I do. But yeah, hurting. Like nothing will ever get me in the mood for exercise, but playing football kind of does. Like I've got no intentions of going to the gym. I've got no intentions of going running. I've got no intentions of doing anything other than playing golf and football. But then I wonder why I'm so unfit after I've finished and how aching I am afterwards. And I think, I wonder what will make me not do this. And it's by going to the gym and exercising. But I've got no interest in doing that. So I'll just have to put up with my body feeling like absolute shit the day after. But it is what it is. I enjoy playing football still.
The night before is like, football, 5-a-side, yeah! The morning after is like, ow, my body. Not worth it. Not worth it. No way.
What time did you text me last night? 9:15, mate. I was already asleep by then. I genuinely did not see that. And I got home from football about 8:15. I had my tea, started to watch something. I said to Samantha, I'm watching this in bed. Like, I'm going upstairs. And I was gone asleep well by then. Didn't see it until obviously like 5:30 this morning when I woke up. That's how bad it was.
I'd watched 2 episodes of The X-Files, gone up to bed, and put something on in Twitch in bed as well long after that. So, yeah. But then again, you were up at 5 o'clock this morning, so swings and roundabouts. Anyway, you guys, if you're in the chat, what did you get up to yesterday? I did my PUBG dailies. We went and got Chloe from Huddersfield, did my PUBG dailies, played a couple of games of X-Files, watched them on Twitch, and just had a nice woosah day. Speaking of being on Twitch, speaking of playing PUBG, what are you guys doing tonight? If you're in the chat, let me know what you're up to tonight, because if you're not busy, feel free to come back to twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads tonight. That's Wednesday, 27th of October, around 6:30 p.m. UK time. Feel free to come back to our channel, as I will be jumping on to some PUBG. Did the same last Wednesday. It was a very, very good stream, joined by Mr. iLotus UK himself. So feel free to come and join me and Lotus as we play some games on PUBG tonight. We'll probably be joined by other friends too. Last week we were joined by Hamish, Ditchy, and I think, I don't know if that was when Franny joined in or if that was the week before. Anyway, we had some fun games. So do feel free to come and join us tonight, 6:30 onwards. And then tomorrow, 6:30 onwards, if you want to see, we've been talking about football, you want to see Bibby play football, but of the digital variety, so less of the aching afterwards, feel free to join us tomorrow from 6:30 for some FIFA Frenzy. More PUBG follows on Saturday morning. Sunday, we aren't playing Back 4 Blood. We announced last night that there will be a change to the schedule. Sunday, you may have realised, is Halloween. So, Bibby didn't just want to play Back 4 Blood. Yeah, Back 4 Blood is scary, and it has zombies and stuff, but it's a bit run and gun, which Halloween is about fully...
Thank you for
as we said in the tweet yesterday, filling your pants. So if you aren't busy Sunday morning, you want to get yourself into the Halloween vibe a little bit early on, then you can see from this tweet that I brought up on screen from Ice Scream Uploads. That's obviously our Halloween name. Schedule update. We're changing things up for our Sunday stream. Sunday the 31st, Halloween. No, Sunday is the 31st, Halloween. So it'd be rude not to get into the spooky spirit by playing a fill your pants scary game, right? So Visage game, come on down. Good luck. We've got Babinho. So Bibby is playing Visage, or is it Visage? I don't know how you pronounce it.
I say Visage, but I think I never even contemplated saying Visage.
Yeah, I didn't.
Oh, you're probably right.
I mean, Visage is how I say it because there was like the nightclub that I went to in Huddersfield was called Visage. Visage. So yeah, we'll call it that until somebody proves different. Anyway.
Yeah,
you're looking forward to playing Visage.
Not how you say it, lads.
Visagi. Are you looking forward to playing Visagi on stream, babe, on Sunday?
Yes.
So yeah, 10:30. If you want to get yourself into the harrowing. Yes, if you want to get yourself into a harrowing Halloween vibe, then feel free to join Bibby from 10:30 Sunday morning as he craps himself for your viewing entertainment, and then you can go do the rest of the Halloween stuff and go crap yourself if you want afterwards. Nice. Vern, good morning. Thank you very much for the host. Took you long enough, mate. Been live for night. I'm only joking. Thank you. Appreciate it. Are you doing anything Halloweenish, Vern? You and the familia? Or you're just chilling? I don't think we're doing anything. I think we're at that age where Chloe's not asked about us anymore, and we'll just want to go and do some Halloweeny stuff with her mates now. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I say that. We're off on Friday because it's half termish. We've booked the day off, so we're going to do. Manchester has something called Halloween in the City, where like a lot of the shops and stuff get decorated and things. So I think Friday we're going to get up early doors, go for breakfast at like Moose Coffee in Manchester, which is probably the best breakfast in Manchester, by the way. If you've never been to Moose Coffee, fill your boots. Moose Coffee, and then a mooch around for Halloween in the City. So we'll do our Halloween stuff like start of the weekend rather than the end of the weekend, and then watch Baby crap himself.
Yay! Rumour has it as well that Mrs. Bivim is going to be joining as well. So if you want to watch a woman going to early labour, then probably the best thing to do is to come over and watch Ice Cream Uploads on Sunday.
Well, there you go. You want to watch actual labour on stream? Don't think I can sell it any better than that. You've done it well, but nice. Vern says, for Halloween, I'll be watching us versus Spurs. That'll be enough of a fright. Yikes. Such a horrible window. Liverpool, Spurs, City. And then is it Chelsea as well in that window?
Yeah, they need to be United right now.
Let me just... Let's go! Get some Ice Up Uniteds in the chat. Let's go. You guys obviously can't do that. But maybe soon. Okay, there we go. Let's jump into talking about some news. That's what we're here for, obviously. The Scoop is the UK's #1 video game podcast, so let's talk about video games. Let's talk about the fact that you're not playing video games, and you suck for it. How have you not finished a game? What are you even... Are you a loser? Well, okay, the reason I'm going at you like that is because lapsed Far Cry 6 players are receiving taunting emails from Ubisoft. The company is mocking players for quitting the game after a few hours. So if you play a game and you don't finish it, get mocked, sucker, as that's Ubisoft's tactic to get you back into it. Interesting. Moving on from that, we'll then talk about the fact that BlizzCon 2022 cancelled amidst ongoing investigations. So Blizzard will not proceed with its online or in-person convention next year. I mean, this is a weird one. Not a weird one. It's normal, which is weird because, I mean, just a couple of years ago, BlizzCon got cancelled because there was drama and stuff around that. Now there's BlizzCon getting cancelled for probably more significant dramas, excuse me. So this is a shock, but also not a shock because it just seems to be the norm at the time. But we'll go through the details of that. BlizzCon has been cancelled. Moving on, new Gran Turismo 7 video confirms there are over 400 cars in the game. One for Bibby, Skyrim the board game. Backers get tabletop sim demo. The crowdfunding begins in November. So yeah, you want to play Skyrim when you've got no electricity? Then you can now. So there you go.
I was going to put that as the lead story today. Yet another Skyrim. I thought that would have been fantastic, but I didn't think it was a strong enough story to headline it today.
No. It's second to last. The only reason it's not last is because we like to wrap up with something that gets you in a good mood, if possible. Ideally, something that you can get for free. And that's what we're talking about. Free Game Wednesday, as November's PlayStation Plus games have been revealed early yet again. And there's a particularly good one, particularly if you like what we've been playing over the last 12 months or so. There's a game in there that we spent a good chunk of time playing with friends. We got the likes of Tub Jizzle and co jumping in. We played some games with a bunch of other people on stream. Bacon Chin jumped in and joined us at some point as well, I believe. So, oh, did he? Maybe you just got some exceptional clips. Anyway, we'll talk about that to finish things off. We won't say what it is. You can probably guess. But for now, let's jump into the lead story. Lapsed Far Cry 6 players are receiving taunting emails from Ubisoft. The company mocks players for quitting the game after a few hours. This is where I usually ask maybe a question to see what he said, which gave me enough time to open the article up on stream, but I'd already done that, so I don't even need to ask Bibby a question. so Bibby, don't care what you think, whatever, Bibby. Ubisoft is sending emails to lapsed Far Cry 6 players, taunting them for abandoning the game. GamesIndustry.biz managing editor Brendan Sinclair shared screenshots of an email he received from the game's publisher, mocking him for stopping playing the game after 3 hours. Quote, "You disappoint me," reads the subject line. "It was amusing watching you fail. And surely you can do better than this," the message says. Sinclair was heavily critical of Ubisoft's email marketing, tweeting on Tuesday, quote, "A lot of games are already ruthlessly designed to maximize engagement, but now they email and hassle you if you dare to stop playing them." His tweet has been liked over 22,000 times, suggesting many others also found the tone of the messaging to be ill-judged. Quote, "Normalize letting people stop playing a game if they're not enjoying it," Sinclair followed up. Far Cry 6 was released earlier this month for consoles and PC and it has a score of 75 on PS5, 76 on PC, and 80 on Xbox Series X and S on review aggregator Metacritic. Do you know what, we'll leave it there? The rest of it is just going into generic Far Cry 6 content. But this is an interesting one. Do you know, I feel for Ubisoft here. I know it's when you present it brazen and facts out like that, Ubisoft are mocking people for choosing to leave something behind that they don't want to play. In a world where people are sensory overloaded, you've got adverts and you've got interrupting adverts, you've got pop-up videos, you've got text adverts, your phone will give you notifications and all sorts of crap. You've got adverts and people and things trying to compete for your attention everywhere. And Ubisoft are just trying to compete with everything else that's competing in that, essentially. And email marketing and reminding players that a game exists can be quite useful for a lot of people. So what they've tried to do is be creative with that. They've probably gone at it. I mean, I've not played Far Cry, so I can't say it specifically. But Gus Fring from Breaking Bad, his character in the game, you imagine he's going to be one of those talk to you like your piece of shit characters. I don't know if he is. This is what I've seen from trailers. So they've tried to embody that persona in an email. But does it work? Have they read the room properly? Have they taken liberties with what access they have to your data rather than just presenting a character? What are your thoughts, babe?
I think it's that deep, Graham. Like, it's if Bethesda would have done this for a Doom game, no one would have batted an eyelid. I think it's probably because it's part and parcel of that kind of vibe, very aggressive, and I don't particularly think it probably. I mean, I have played Far Cry. I haven't played this one, but I don't really know what the vibe is. But I mean, it does seem out of sorts for Far Cry, but just a little bit of fun. Like, I don't understand why people would take it. 32,000 people have liked that. It's probably 32,000 people that I probably wouldn't speak to. Like, I don't. It's genuinely not that deep. I don't understand why people are getting a bit pissy about it. I think it's quite funny. If anything, it's different. It's a little bit of marketing guff. Like, it genuinely, again, I don't think it's that deep. I think it's a bit of fun, maybe. But honestly, if an email come through like that and it triggers you, then probably says a lot more about yourself than anything else really.
I mean,
I'm trying to be very polite here.
No,
I'm trying to be as polite as I can be, but I don't really know why people would take offense for something like this.
basically, Bibby's calling them all snowflakes. There you go. There you go.
Essentially, yeah. I mean, I didn't want to use that word, and I was trying to be polite as possible, but genuinely, it's like it's again not me saying it's not that deep is the polite way of saying it's something completely different. But
Get over
yeah,
it, motherfucker.
yeah, it's not offensive in any way, shape, or form. If you kind of take offense to that, then you are a certain type of person.
Do you know?
But 32,000 people liking and responding to that's bizarre. More than
I
anything.
agree. I mean, and that shows the differences of opinions. You've got someone that's clearly not just some keyboard warrior. This was managing editor of gamesindustry.biz. And I feel like this is making a mountain out of a molehill. So what these games companies can do is have emails that react to your activity or lack of activity. You start playing an EA game, you'll start getting emails from EA. You play Ubisoft games, you get emails from Ubisoft. It's all part of the initial sign-on process that you go through, and it's all meant to be ways to not just exacerbate things by pointing fingers at you when you're playing a game that you've not really enjoyed and you stop playing and making you feel bad. It's meant to be adding to the experience to remind you that that it's there, which is a benefit to the business as well as a benefit to you. It's meant to be a mutually beneficial thing. But a lot of the time, that stuff is crap. And it is. And a lot of you will probably have had an email going, don't forget, you can fire up FIFA 22 this weekend and play the game mode, and it's probably tailored to whatever mode you've played, or they'll just push Ultimate Team because, money. Or you'll get the same thing from Call of Duty, or you'll get the same thing from Twitter, let alone even video games. I get fucking emails from Twitter going, here are the latest Explore topics that you can share for now, and it's like, fuck off, I don't care, because it's always crap that doesn't appeal to me anyway. But I don't lose my shit over it because that's trying to keep me engaged. I get it's not necessarily for my benefit all the time, but the point is it can be for your benefit. And if you don't want that stuff, you can probably sign out of getting those emails as well. So what Ubisoft have tried to do is take that vibe, but keep the narrative going off stream. And it depends on where you look at this. So where was the words? They normalize letting people stop playing a game if they're not enjoying it. Is that not normal? That's normal for me. I have never, ever felt that if I've bought a game and I didn't like it, that Ubisoft are going to send the boys round to do me in if I stop playing it. I mean, normalize letting people stop playing the game. Just turn it off. Because, I don't feel like that's not normal for me. I feel like this is a lot of hyperbole around that by building up on what they've said. They've taken an article and twisted it, in my opinion. They're not. It's not that it's not normal. They just want you to keep playing because there's a story in there that you've paid for, and being distracted by another game for all they know. They don't know that you're not enjoying that game and you've given up on it and you're already disappointed that you've spent the money on it. You could have just jumped in and played PUBG to get your dailies done and then got distracted and forgot that you had that game and then not continued. That's what happened to me in Horizon Zero Dawn. So if PlayStation go, do you know what, Horizon's actually got some really cool stuff this weekend, that could be enough to get me back in. So what about normalize letting video game companies let you know that you have games that you could be utilizing to have great experiences, but you're not, because that's what that looks like to me as well. So 32.
I'd love the reminder.
Yeah, like you said, 32,000 people have seen this and gone, whoa. It's like they've brought you. I'm just going to call him Gus Fring. I know that's not his character in Far Cry 6, but like I said, I've not played it.
Giancarlo Esposito.
Yeah, I just don't know what his in-game character is. So we'll use his real name then. So Giancarlo Esposito. If you don't know who that is, I'll bring this article back on stream. You can only see the top of his face, but that is Giancarlo Esposito, a.k.a. Gus Fring from Breaking Bad, and other things. But Giancarlo Esposito, and the Maze Runner films and stuff, he was in that too, and yeah, more. I think he was in something called Terra Nova too, but I could be wrong on that. Anyway, his character, if he's that, you disappoint me. I know this is my kind of whatever accent. It's somewhere between Russian or whatever. I know it's supposed to be Mexican-ish. I don't know if it's actually Mexico. I don't know what country it's based in. It could be any South America / Central American country for all I'm aware. So apologies for the generalizing, but the context is what I'm trying to get. Like that, you disappoint me. You let me down. You're not playing the game. It's like you can imagine the character in the game digging at you, going at you, picking at you. Do we normalize players just allowed to play the games without having someone saying bad words to them or being a little bit mean to them? Because that's what he would do in the game. What's the issue between him murdering people, I imagine, in the game in front of you, sentencing people to death potentially, versus just telling you to play your game again? It's a non-story. For me, I get that it's got a lot of traction. 32,000 people have liked the comment. It's been picked up by VGC and it's led with us. Ubisoft mocks Far Cry 6 players. That's what we've gone with on screen, and that's what we essentially had in the title, because that's what it's been reported as. But that's not what it is for me. It's not that at all. It's Ubisoft tries to creatively use the worlds and narratives that players have actively purchased and bought into to keep their enjoyment going. How can Ubisoft be held accountable if someone didn't like the game? You've purchased it and bought it. That's something, that's data, that's actionable data that they have and can email you back on. Other than having a massive, please don't like me, I dislike this game button like in every game, how else can they do that? It's fine by me. I mean, if the game's crap and you don't really like it and you don't want to come back to it, then you can be a little bit disappointed. But tell Ubisoft that. Don't go after e-marketing. That's a thing that's been around forever. Ubisoft haven't just started doing it. And there's things abusing email marketing and your email address that are a lot worse than that. Do you want to buy a fake Rolex or some Viagra or something else, mate? Yeah, whatever. No, it's all right.
I'm actually looking at the quote tweets of that tweet just to get an idea of what the general consensus is. The replies are obviously in favour of it being a shit thing to do. Obviously, the quote tweets are the exact polar opposite, which it's always nice to be like me and you tend to agree on most things, which it could be a small detriment to obviously this podcast because we don't really disagree on a lot of things. But when it comes to stuff like this, I'm glad that there is an alternative side, because I feel like you do become into like an echo chamber stuff, but there's like people recording it saying, okay, but this is kind of funny though. Where's the one that I really wanted to piss myself at, but he was in the middle of talking. I'll try and
I'll jump through the comments quickly to catch up then while you look for it then. Hair Crocodile says, get good. Yeah, exactly. If you don't want to get mocked, get good. Just finish the game. Mr. T says, I played it for 3 to 5 hours and got bored. Not that it's a badly made game or anything. Lovely to look at and functionally good. Just felt I'd done it all before, so gave up and moved on to Guardians, which I'm having a blast with. I will come back to it at some point. An email or not wouldn't sway me either way. Yeah, as Bibby said, it's harmless. Enix says, tired of open world games. Fatigue hits hard when so many open world games are like that. Just to lengthen the game. Mr. T then says, the same people are fine with PlayStation or Xbox end of year email that tracks everything you do on the console and sharing it on social. So here's your Spotify roundup for the year kind of thing. And it's like, oh shit, I never finished that article. Fuck's sake, Spotify, normalise letting people listen to the good tracks on an album rather than all of the shit ones as well. It's not that deep. It's juicy. Tearsbed says that after 16 years of WoW, left them, love the new world, love New World now, and love grinding for profs. Yeah, but have you got any emails calling you shit though, mate? That's the thing. Because if you aren't, are you really nice? I've seen a lot of people that were ex-WoW players that live in New World, to be fair. So it seems like you're not alone with that. And he says, where can I buy a fake ice cream hat cheap, please? To be fair, these aren't actually gonna be that expensive. We just left a little bit of time. Do you know what? I'll recap that probably next week after ish, and see where we are. If you're in our Discord, Tezbad, we allowed people to show their hands in terms of who wanted to purchase an Ice Cream Uploads hat. So we only had a very small batch of these made, mainly for ourselves. We got I think there's 15. There's 5 black hats, 5 blue hats, and then 5 flat peak blackout hats. So there's only 5 of each in existence in the world. And the idea was we'll give a couple away maybe. We'll keep some for ourselves. Our team can use them and it's good. We've got on-screen branding. It looks nice. But you guys have obviously over the last 12 months said that you want these. So we're looking at getting an order in there. We've asked people to share within our Discord in the I think it was called merch. I can't remember the name of the section.
Merch, yeah.
to let us know if they want one. If they do you want a blackout flat peak or do you want a blackout curved peak like mine? And yeah, just so if you haven't already, put your name in there, and we will, once we've got a full idea of how many people want them, we will put an order in. We'll probably add a few more on top just to protect, just in case someone comes in a month's 2 months' time and goes, oh shit, I missed the order, I want one now. But then we can't make an order, because the more people that order, the cheaper we'll get it, obviously, because we're buying to sell. We buy to sell. It's not just a case of buying a shitload of stock or whatever. We don't want to make money off of merch, so we'll see how cheap we can get it. I expect in pounds it will be, I assume £15 to £17 ish. But it might be cheaper. It might be cheaper, and that might even include postage as well at that fee. Not confirming that as well. Once we've got a full idea of what we're after, we'll put an order in. We'll get an actual quote, and we'll let you know. At that point, people then can choose to commit to it. If they want to or not. We don't want like, there's a lot of hats out there like 25, 30 quid. And they actually aren't even as good as these. Like, if I show you, this is not meant to be a merch flex or a spawner to get people by, but look, we've got internal printing, twitch.tv/ice cream uploads. We've got the Twitch glitch logo on the side of the hat, like where you'd get a New Era one. Full 3D embroidered logos on the front. Oh, beautiful.
Yeah. It's very close to the quality that you'd expect from like a New Era cap. That's as close. I've got a lot of New Era caps, and it's very, very close to those. So yeah, it's not as if it's a cheap imitation kind of thing.
So we want to get like what you'd usually spend 30 quid on and get it you for about, we're aiming for about 15 quid, but it might be a couple of quid more depending on what it is. We don't, if it was too expensive, we wouldn't bother, because we don't want people to pay over the odds either as well. So we'll, whatever it is, we'll make it so that you guys can get a decent quality hat at a decent price as well. But yeah, we'll confirm that. So if you're interested in the Discord, just let us know. Let us know if you prefer a curved peak or a flat peak, and then we can then put numbers together and get a roundup of how many hats we get, what it will cost, and what we're sort of looking at for time frames and stuff. So yeah, just feel free to jump in the Discord. Sorry, did you find the comment that you were looking for, Bib?
I did. I found two that I think is quite funny. One person replying, "Oh man, I love this. So creative and funny. I read it in Giancarlo's voice for once. A reason to opt into some of these emails." And then another one. The villain emailing you to tell you that you're a bitch is the best thing Ubisoft has done in a long ass time.
that's quite. You fucking get back in here. Which that's the way I see it instantly.
Yeah, that's exactly the way I say it. You called it with the Giancarlo thing, speaking in his voice and the way that he is portrayed in this game. You were absolutely nailed on.
And I feel for Ubisoft. You know what? I mean, they will probably get a lot of stick, and that will probably change going forward, which I feel is an opportunity lost, because those emails are going to happen. Normalize letting people stop playing games. They do that, but it's also normalizing letting people know that in a world where you're on sensory overload, that, do you know what? You can just jump back into a game. That notification to pay your bill, well, you probably want to do that, though, to be fair. That notification to fucking do whatever, chore stuff, or stuff that's just not very important. That notification that you probably want to start looking at the better price for your car tax, because you've got 6 months left on that, and we can get insurance, not tax. All that sort of stuff. That email could be just do you know what? You've actually got escapism at your fingertips. Pick up your controller and you can get out of having to find car insurance and get into going through a swamp with a pet fucking crocodile, yeah, baby. But no, it's just been it's been twisted, in my opinion. I don't believe it's not normalized for players to stop playing games. I have a lot of games that I've not played, and that seems pretty normal to me.
I'd love to kick up the ass. Like, I want to know. I would love to know from their side how long I've been playing particular games for, so I can get a kick up the ass to be reminded to go back and play those games again. And my backlog is ridiculous. And I ended up picking up the other day. I've already got it for free, but I wanted the PS4 version, Kingdom Come Deliverance, because I'm waiting for the Skyrim update. And I thought, do you know what? I could do with some more medieval fucking wizardry shit. So I picked up that, even though it's not got any like casting or spells or anything like that. But again, it's just more games that I don't necessarily need that I want to be able to. But it's they've tried something and it's kind of fallen on its ass, which is unfair, really, because I feel like they've just because it's Ubisoft, I feel like they're probably going to get jumped on anyway because of all the stuff that they've been doing. That let's be honest, they've been doing a lot of stuff horrifically in the last couple of years, which isn't good by any stretch of the imagination, but it actually comes down to the games coming out and people trying to market those games. That's a completely different situation. And I feel like it's just an excuse to be dogpiled on for something like this.
I
When
think
the people who are doing the marketing stuff, that's not nothing to do with all them stuff. They may be under the working conditions, but they're still trying to do the job and they're trying to embody the characters.
the thing is as well is like this is a 75 rated game to 80 ish, there or thereabouts. If this was a 95 rated game, this wouldn't be a conversation. So it's sharing the voice of the people. There's nothing wrong with a 75 rated game, by the way. I just want to clarify that before I continue with this. A 7 out of 10 is still a very, very good game. A 6 out of 10 is still a very, very good game. Once you start getting to 5, then you're starting to get in the realm where it could be a good game, but it's potentially impossible to play through because of bugs and things like that, are starting to get into those realms. 6 out of 10 games are still very good. So a 7.5 out of 10, a 75% game, is still an exceptional game. However, the world of video games, if you're not a 95% game, quite often in a lot of people's eyes, it's a flop. So a lot of people are probably going, oh, well, this game's already a flop anyway. And now they're trying to force me to play it because it's a shit, and it will just get swept up in a storm of negativity. Quite often, it's easier to have negative reactions and get following and get traction on the internet than it is to be positive. And that seems like maybe that's not what GamesIndustry.biz managing editor has gone for, but that looks like that's what the internet has taken with and ran. Lots of people that aren't interested in the marketing and email side of things are just going, yeah, shit game, let me alone. And it's like, really? Really? Woosah. Anyway, enough negativity. Let me jump off track. Bibi doesn't know I'm talking about this yet. But I want to bring this in because he has been in the chat. He might not be here anymore. And if he is, he might not want to put his name in lights because that's exactly what he hasn't done already. Mr. Asim Tanvir. I'm giving him the props because, obviously, friend of the channel, someone we know personally. But shout out to 2K UK, Marvel, Firaxis, the developers of Midnight Suns. So 2K publisher, Marvel, obviously the brand owner, Firaxis, the developers. Midnight Suns is a new game coming from Marvel. They all teamed up to give this guy who's on the screen on the left-hand side, Luke, who has neuroblastoma and he's had it since he was 14. He has had the devastating news that his disease can't be cured, as it says in the tweet there from SKC_UK, that's Solving Kids Cancer. Basically, they tried to help him with... I don't want to say a dying wish because that sounds very ominous, but you get where I'm coming from if I do use those words. So basically, he has an incurable disease, and one of his wishes was to play Midnight Suns. And it's not out yet. It's not due to be out yet. And video games aren't due to be released until they're due to be released, and that leads to embargoes and red tape and all sorts of discussions, particularly if you've got Firaxis making a game for 2K, who are working with Marvel. That's multiple corporations, multiple NDAs, multiple elements of red tape internally that need to be crossed. But Mr. T and the rest of the teams across all three of those brands still managed to come together and take the game round to Luke for him to get his hands on and play this game early. His own private showing of a game that isn't out yet, which is absolutely exceptional. And the biggest and best thing, which I shared in one of my tweets earlier on, is the fact that none of them mentioned it. That is charity. That is passion. That is compassion. That is human emotion. You see these people out there that go, here's a video of me giving 10 quid or giving burgers to homeless people and stuff like that. It's like, well,
that's it. You see that all the time.
If you really cared, why are you showing people? Is it about the donation to the charity, or is it about a donation to the charitable cause? This time, in that case, a homeless person. Is it about that, or is it about you being seen to do stuff for charity? Is it just, are you paying for positive PR? Because that's what, in theory, 2K, Marvel and Firaxis could have done, and none of them did. It was only that Solving Kids Cancer posted about it that there's been any sort of positivity around this, which just shows you wonderful people. GG's. That's absolutely exceptional. Off track, but it did need to be said. So GG's to 2K, to Mr. T, Marvel, Firaxis, everyone else involved. Obviously, it wasn't just Mr. T, but he's the one we know, so he gets our love. Everyone else can praise the other people. We'll praise Mr. T and everyone else as well. But Mr. T,
legend.
Nice. You love to see it. You love to see it. So, do you know what? Stop pissing and moaning about emails and shit when there's other people just doing good stuff to the world. Yeah, like that. Anyway, that's enough positivity. let's get back onto the negative hype train, unfortunately. I apologise to bring you back down. But Sean Murray at The Gamer says, BlizzCon 2022 has been cancelled amidst ongoing investigations. Blizzard will not proceed with its online or in-person convention next year. BlizzCon 2022 has been cancelled. Activision, I can't say 2022, seems like it. Trying to say that faster, my brain just goes 2022. So BlizzCon 2022.
It will be the first or last time.
Yeah, exactly. There's a fucking, we need an interview with the Xbox boss in 2022, and then just watch my mouth just blue screen. So Blizz 2022 has been cancelled. Activision Blizzard says its online and in-person plans will no longer take place next year, but it will still make announcements for its games. The decision comes 3 months after California first announced it was suing the Call of Duty publisher for its alleged, quote, pervasive frat boy workplace culture. Quote, we've decided to take a step back and pause on planning the previously announced BlizzConline event scheduled for early next year, a Blizzard spokesperson wrote. This was a tough decision for all of us to make, but it's the right one. This marks the third cancelled BlizzCon in a row. Both 2020 and 2021 BlizzCons were cancelled due to the ongoing pandemic, with BlizzCon 2022, set for early next year with a hybrid in-person and online schedule. The announcement does not specifically mention the ongoing suit or investigation, but updates surrounding the legal battle continue as a judge just ruled that the California Department of Fair Employment and Housing suit against the company will proceed. Any BlizzCon event takes every single one of us to make happen. An entire company effort fueled by our desire to share what we create with the community we care about so much, wrote Blizzard. At this time, we feel the energy it would take to put on a show like this is best directed towards supporting our teams and progressing development of our games and experiences. Blizzard also said it aims to fundamentally change future BlizzCons to feel as safe, welcoming, and inclusive as possible. The California DFEH suit specifically mentions instances of sexual harassment which took place during past BlizzCons. It's where the infamous Cosby Suite was hosted, which was a hotel room where some Blizzard devs would network and drink to excess around a framed picture of alleged serial rapist Bill Cosby. Activision Blizzard recently revealed it fired more than 20 employees over recent allegations at the company, which we covered yesterday, but we'll stop for this article there. So BlizzCon 2022 cancelled. We won't go too far into this because it's kind of a self-explanatory one. But after 2021 and 2020 were cancelled because of the COVID pandemic, and 2019 had a lot of conversations around it off of the back of the, what was his name? Blitz Chung, was it? Blitz Chung, was it
Hearthstone guy.
Yeah. Yeah. So many years of BlizzCon cancellations. Right or not is probably the question that we just want to address. Is it right for them to cancel it? Should they have not cancelled it? What are your thoughts, babe?
I think it's a very convenient timing for them in terms of obviously the lawsuit and everything that's going around there. I think it's been a bit of a blessing, the COVID stuff, for them as a company, because the events like this don't need to happen now, do they? They're not necessarily blaming COVID for this one, but the last 2 years has obviously caused these cancellations. So this one's a little bit different for them. I could see this probably coming. I didn't think even if they wanted to, they would probably run one because of all the press that would happen around there. The staff who would have had to attend might have been the victims of a protest or something like that, when it's genuinely the staff who there'll be event staff. Like, event staff are just freelancers. Like, they'll come in and they'll be told what it is that they are going to be doing, whether or not it's going to manning battle stations or at kiosks or whatever, but they may have felt the brunt of it, may ended up facing the brunt of this and all the stuff that's going around it. So I think it's probably the right thing to do from their perspective, to protect everybody, and more so for themselves and their reputation. Let all of this go to court and then see what the outcomes are after that, and then they can go after that. I don't think it would have been right for them to be able to go ahead and do this now. It wouldn't have looked good on them, and rightly so in a lot of regards. So yeah, I think this was an easy win for them and an easy thing to say, do you know what, we'll leave it this year.
Yeah.
We haven't been able to do it the last 2 years, let's make it 3. We'll reevaluate next year and see how they go from there. And again, I'm not defending them. I think it's more power to them. I think they've done the right thing. Again, from a marketing standpoint on what we do for events, I think the people who would have been manning the stations would have potentially not been safe. and it's not their
Yeah.
fault, and it's definitely not their problem. So get them out of there and don't bother.
That's the most poisonous thing about this whole issue for me is, don't get me wrong, there's some very, very poisonous things right at the start of it. But from our perspective, one of the most poisonous things is this whole situation has come around at the expense and exploitation of workers for multiple reasons, be that race, sex, culture, whatever. But people that aren't the upper echelons are the ones that are being exploited. And if this event happens and you've got Blizzard staff working on those stands, guaranteed they're not the ones that are the rule makers and breakers higher up. They're the people that are working on the stands. But these are the people that will take the shit. So because people of a lower level, we'll just call it lower level. I know that might not be the case. There might be other levels and stuff, but we'll just say people at a lower level are the ones that have been subjected to shit. And as a result of that, that's led to a backlash, which has led to people at a lower level at events being subjected to shit. And that happens. And I've mentioned Jeff Keighley quite a few times. I really like Jeff Keighley as a journalist generally, but in his quest to do right for the people inside Konami, our teams, which aren't even Konami teams, our staff, our Jelly Media staff, have had some very, very difficult days as part of that hunt. And people don't realise that you can't just attack a brand all the time without attacking individuals. More often than not, attacking individuals is going against what you're trying to do in the first place. So this makes sense. Cancelling it is great from a marketing perspective for the brand. Stop the conversations. There's going to be shit. There's probably going to be some protests. You're saving yourself, and you can put your efforts into actually, rather than making some massive corporate event that gives you marketing exposure, how about work on marketing what you're doing for yourselves internally, and save your staff the extra benefit of not having to put up with that shit too. So it just makes absolute sense from everyone considered. BlizzCon, if they'd have continued pushing ahead with this blindly, I think that would have been an ignorant stance. The fact that they have cancelled it, they haven't said that it's because of everything else, which I get, that's 50-50. You can't really do that, because if you say we cancel it because everything's ongoing, is that guilty? Is that, no smoke without fire sort of conversations and stuff? I mean, a lot of people already assume they're guilty anyway, which is understandable coming from what's gone on, but obviously they're entitled to their fair process naturally. So by just cancelling it, it reads the room. It would be stupid to have put it out. So fair play, and it saves some people some unnecessary bullshit on the stands on the days as well. So GG's. Anyway, enough of that. Back into positivity. Mr. T says honoured to do so regarding the Midnight Suns SKC
as well.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, we knew that Asim had done something previously, because naturally it's an emotional thing, and he needed to speak to people about stuff that had impacted him. So it didn't go through everything that had happened. He didn't tell all sorts of secrets and stuff.
Yeah.
He just said enough for him to be able to continue, which is fine. You have to vent as people. You have to share. Venting is not always bad. Venting can be good, or venting could be just a release. So we knew that, and we knew this weeks ago that this had happened.
Yeah.
Not once had he tweeted.
I felt honoured for him to be able to tell us. He doesn't have to tell us this stuff. It's just part of the conversation with him.
But the fact that he'd done that and then it hadn't been shared, that's the beauty of it. It's like he could have been fucking, what's it, big dick energy, wafting his wad about, going, yeah, actually, I've been doing really nice things for people. Look at how nice I am. I don't think you've all seen how nice I actually am. Oh, is that my penis? I didn't realise that it was out and I was waving it. But no, there was none of that. None of that at all. Even today, I was tagging Asim in a tweet, and I don't think he'd even, like, taking credit for himself, which I would not be against him doing that, because he's done that. It just even I said taking credit, even like you said there, honoured to do so. He only said that after being pushed in the chat to do so, which is wonderful. So that's there you go. Positivity.
Selfless.
There you go. You love to see it. You just love to see it. Do you know what else you'd love to see if you're a GT7 player? 400 cars in the video game. Well, that's fine. That's what's coming. Tom Ivan at VGC has the next story. New Gran Turismo 7 video confirms there are over 400 cars in the game. Sony releases its latest behind-the-scenes trailer. So Sony Interactive Entertainment, is this the trailer? 1 minute 11? Let me hit play on that. Keep it muted. Sony Interactive Entertainment has released the latest in a series of behind-the-scenes videos for Gran Turismo 7. In it, Polyphony Digital CEO Kazunori Yamauchi confirms how many cars will be included in the upcoming racing game. Quote, Gran Turismo 7 includes cutting-edge PS5 quality models, but what makes GT7 special isn't just the high quality, he says. It's also the sheer numbers of car models it contains. There are over 400 cars in the game, and many of the most fascinating cars from motoring history are included in GT7. Revealing new titles, new details about the title, should I say, in September, Yamauchi said GT7 was both the culmination of the series, which answers the expectations of GT fans throughout the years, and at the same time, it is a title that marks the beginning of a difficult mission to contain the full breadth of car culture from the past into a single video game. Sony recently detailed Gran Turismo 7 pre-orders items and the game's 25th anniversary edition, which costs $90, which bizarrely translates equally into £90. Don't know how that works. Even Twitch can do localized pricing, but GG Sony. Anyway, customers who pre-order the PS4 and PS5 racing game are participating retailers ahead of its March 4th, 2022 release date will receive a selection of bonus in-game items. Mr. Bibb.
Yeah.
Off the bat, quickly, would you buy GT7?
Yes, I mean it looks fantastic, and I'm actually going to throw this very quickly back to you, Graham.
No.
Obviously, Gran Turismo has been pretty much the be all and end all historically of racing video games. Obviously, there's been a lot more now that have come out that have kind of taken that mantle, and Gran Turismo has kind of been the ginger stepchild of racing games nowadays.
As I've said this
Do you
before, you
think-
can say that. I can't say that. You can.
Yeah. Do you think that Gran Turismo could potentially get back to the big name or biggest name in racing like it was previously? Like it feels like there's been Gran Turismo games over the last couple of generations that haven't really reached the notes that they used to do. Is because Forza's become the behemoth that it is, with obviously Forza Horizon and Forza Motorsport. Do you think that this can get back into that mold?
I think it's difficult. I think having 400 vehicles that are trying to capture the full history of video game, car culture. I mean, just looking at this, I'm not just seeing one of the things that I could be just skipping over a lot of content. People could provide me contrasting evidence, but a lot of the things that I see when I see Forza content is brand new, top of the line, super spec car racing reveals. You don't often see too much dedicated to the older cars, and that's kind of what this video has. So it has like old school racing cars, which are obviously super expensive, shiny new Mercedes cars, but then there's a scene within a garage where you're seeing like a Jeep, there's an old Porsche, then you're getting back to like the old Skylines or Evo Lancers and things like that. All stuff that's kind of in it. So the fact that there's over 400 cars does give it a good shout, because we don't just want to be cutting edge, top level video game
Supercars.
Yeah, exactly. We want a bit of everything. You want to drive around in your Ford Fiesta that you've got at home? Yeah, you do that. You can see how you get on against that Koenigsegg. Good luck, by the way. But I like it. That said, I've not seen anything yet that kind of makes me feel different. Like this looks fucking incredible. Certain parts of it, you see it and it looks exceptional. But also, certain parts of it. Oh, Joe! Hey! Welcome in. How are you doing? Nice to meet you on the weekend, dude. I'll read. We are talking about Gran Turismo 7 having a shitload of cars. So if you haven't been in before, The Scoop is a video game podcast. We talk about the biggest stories that have come out in the world of video games over the last 24 hours. The stories that we've had so far are Far Cry 6 players getting taunted by Ubisoft for not finishing the game. BlizzCon's been cancelled, and now we're talking about Gran Turismo 7. 400 cars in the game. The game looks good, but where was the bit? So was it this bit? This bit? This is not the greatest video because it's paused and it's a video that's embedded in VGC's website. But when I look at this, I remember Gran Turismo 7 trailers being, wow, that looks incredible. And I remember even just Forza Horizon, looking at Horizon, seeing it and thinking, this game looks fucking beautiful. There's off-world stuff, off-road stuff, almost open world stuff. It looks majestic. whilst this has 400 cars, and it's all about the sim, it's all about the feel of driving. That's what it always has been in Gran Turismo, more than anything else. But I just feel like side by side, am I wrong? Am I wrong? Does this not look as pretty as a Forza did?
Yeah. Well, Ride's the best looking racing game that I think I've seen ever. That new trailer that got that I think it was you that sent it me. I was either in Discord. Like I've never seen a racing game look that beautiful and that realistic
Is that
before.
that
So
the
everyone's playing
VR
catch
one
up.
with a dude on a bike?
Was it VR one? Was it for Ride 3?
I can't remember. All I remember is seeing some dude on a bike,
Yeah.
like driving around in the rain, thinking that looks fucking realistic.
Yeah, like everyone's playing catch up to that, surely. Like, forget about Gran Turismo, forget about Assetto Corsa or whatever it's called. Like, everyone's playing catch up to what I'm sure it was Ride 3. But yeah, like if that's what the next gen graphics look like for racing games, then everyone's playing catch up because I don't think anyone's going to be able to compete with that. But
It's just
for the
like,
sake of Gran Turismo, I hope so.
yeah, I mean, I could be wrong, and I'm judging off 1 minute and 10 seconds. But Gran Turismo not only played better than anything else at the time, obviously Forza. When I played Gran Turismo, Forza didn't exist. I've said many times I've drifted off of racing games. I don't play racing games anymore.
Shout out Project Gotham. Did you ever play that?
Ish. I played bits of it, but not. That was like early 360 sort of days where I'd given up on racing games by that point in time. That's pretty much where I dropped out. 360 is where I kind of gave up on racing and then jumped into FPS. So the Call of Duties of the world kind of took over my life rather than racing. But into the PS3 360 era, I did still play a bit of Gran Turismo, and it was always the game that looked better. It was always the game that played better, and it had all of the options and stuff. But then it kind of slowed down, and we got a ton of crap from Forza. Don't get me wrong, we got a shitload of useless, to the point where I could have seen Forza just disappearing as a brand, and Xbox going, do you know what, we can't do racing games, let's give it up. And then it just happened. Xbox suddenly knew how to do racing games and did it very, very well. And then Gran Turismo kind of just petered out. We got games, but then we were expecting full games, and then we got the sport version games of which were kind of smaller scale down versions, and it just didn't have the full complete like Forza and Forza Horizon gives you the full package. You've got the ultimate sim, and then you've got the bit of the crazy extra stuff on top of it. Gran Turismo 7, is it a bit of both? Is it just like traditional Forza? And if it is, it needs to go big, because I feel like Forza, even like with Horizon, keeps the name out there, keeps the content coming. And for me, and I could be wrong, like I say, I'm not a racing gamer, but for me, Gran Turismo is on the verge of being a game that used to be good. It needs to either come back with a bang, or it's just going to be, I remember when that used to be amazing. So
I heard a lot of very good things about GT Sport when that came out. I think people are still playing it now. Some of the community guys, when I say community, I mean the PES guys, everyone has a second game, and it seemed to be that they're taking the competition off on the pitch and ended up going onto the track. Like there was people trying to beat each other's times and stuff like that. So for all intents and purposes, I know of GT Sport being a very, very good game. I think you still pick it up quite cheap now. But in terms of people wanting that next gen experience and GT being a PlayStation exclusive, you'd want this as a PlayStation fan to be competitive with Forza, because the gap is so wide at the moment. It's so hard for them to be able to try and compete with something like that. So I think it needs to do something quite special, but also at its very core be a Gran Turismo game. And that sounds a bit wild. It feels like I'm making two completely different statements. But
what I kind of think it is PlayStation does first person better. It does not first person, single player better than anyone, than Xbox. It does. I mean, you can give me some good bits where Xbox fights back, but single player, PlayStation does it better. And the single player elements of Gran Turismo are exceptional. But then what makes Forza good is the fact that it has multiple different functions across Forza and Horizon to jump online and playing with friends, and creative aspects where you can share a lot. And GT Sport had a little bit of that. Like I remember going down to my mate Nathan's house, and he'd designed a Johnny Bravo car that he'd what does he become here really fast? We've mentioned Johnny Hair.
I was about to say, yeah.
2 days in a row.
Does he become in the Johnny Bravo podcast or what?
So
I'm down for it. Like, don't get me wrong.
I mean, he'd he'd had a design that he'd uploaded to the internet or something. He was trying to show me. This was a few years back. It was my copy. I got it. I tried it, and I thought, yeah, I'm still not into racing games. So I gave it to him, and then he lived his best life in it. So they are doing more. I just feel like if they just satisfy that solo experience, then this becomes the game that you'll see in VR booths and stuff like that. But it won't be the one that everyone talks about, because if a game like this doesn't have a good online multiplayer infrastructure that's not just for super competitive reasons, then I don't think it'll thrive. And that's the bit where I kind of want to see it to explode. Not just that, not just the top level super competitive and single player. It needs everything in between as well.
I spent so much time on the original ones, like trying to get your licenses. That was the best part of it.
No, I
Like,
spent so much time on the original ones trying to get my licenses.
Yeah, that's it. It's ridiculous. Like me and my granddad both having a go at like literally spending our entire Christmases trying to get the licenses to go into the proper races. Like it was a joke how difficult they was, but that was all part of the like it didn't hold your hand, Gran Turismo, which is what I loved about it. There was no rubber banding or anything. It was brutal, but it was a simulation back in the day. I don't know whether it is now, but yeah, it was horrifically good.
I see if I can find it. Ice Cream Uploads Studio. Bibby's obviously sat in it and looking at it, but if I can find a picture of our triple monitor mount, no. Okay, I was hoping I could find it super. Oh, there we go. So if I bring you this on screen, this is what is in front of Bibby in the studio. So Bibby's sat behind our presentation desk, but in front of him, he has this, which is a triple monitor mount, which is made for racing games. And I just kind of wish that I enjoyed racing games to that extent. I mean, if I had a VR headset and a cockpit and triple screens and this, that, and the other, I would probably, triple screens or a VR headset, I would be loving life.
Yeah, we can easily fit a cockpit in here.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing I was just saying, though, because, like, obviously you can't see the logo where I am because I've got my jacket and stuff, and my head's in the way, but behind Bibby, if he leans, because he's got no jacket, you'll see the GT Omega logo on the back of the chair, because GT Omega provided not only the chairs that we've got in the studio, but they provided that triple monitor screen for us to be mount, should I say, for us to hold the screens in the studio. I know if we wanted to go full on into racing, GT Omega would be up for doing some sort of cockpit sort of placement for us. But
yeah, you wouldn't get me out of it if that was the case. Like that one at Arcade Club is unbelievable in VR. Like that's one of the reasons why I'd really want to go back. Like pronto, playing dirt with in the cockpit with the headset on. That was amazing. That was such a good experience. It's one that I never had before as well. Like I was speaking to Mark about this yesterday about VR, about how much advanced, like even from the PlayStation 4 era, which is only last generation. But then you had things like the Valve Index come out where you can put your fingers into a glove and it'll track every single finger movement that you did, regardless of how slight it was. Like the tech and VR.
I was just chuckling then because I was just chuckling because in my head I was thinking, like, what if we had audio description on this? Bibby holds his hands up, wriggles his fingers around like he's squiggling something. Bibby changes to just having one hand in the air and pulls the trigger finger as if he's got a gun in his hand.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And do you know what? Actually, I'm gonna cut you off because I did say let's quickly talk about Gran Turismo 7, and 15 minutes later we're talking about how good VR and tech and all of that sort of stuff is. It is good. It is good. I just hope GT7 captures what it had for me when I used to play it. I mean, I've had stories, like I said before, in the past, like doing 24-hour races, or the endurance races, not the 24-hour ones, but the endurance races, and doing things like getting the Escudo Pikes Peak and just sticking an elastic band around the controller and sticking a chair on the X button so it just accelerates around the track to get me a 2-hour race while I buggered off to my mum's kind of thing, from my mate's house kind of stuff. All that sort of stuff. Fun memories, but that's when it owned the world. And now I don't feel like it does. I feel like it could, and I hope it, if it doesn't come back and just destroy Forza, at least give it a good fight. That's the thing. So I'll make it equal. Like PlayStation and Xbox are at loggerheads. Last generation, it was PlayStation just laughing at Xbox. Let's be honest. This generation, nah, it's anyone's for the taking. I mean, it still looks like it could be PlayStation just because of raw numbers sold, but it's a good fight, and I want that again. At the moment, it feels like Forza is the PlayStation of the driving games, whereas, ironically, Gran Turismo is in the Xbox situation. It has some catching up to do. I just hope it's a competitive race for the people that enjoy racing games. And that's where we'll leave it. Okay, Ojo says, all good, mate. I hope you're well. I'm good. Thank you very much for the tier 1 sub, dude. You didn't have to do that, but I appreciate you nonetheless. In honour of Ojo, who's a United fan and had to sit through the bullshit that I had to sit through on the weekend as well, let me just drop some of those in the chat. I sub United. Kane says, we were just talking about Gran Turismo. Using a wheel is fun, though. It is. And that's the thing, is like when I play a video game, I'm not going to generally jump into something that requires 3D motions and all of that jazz. I just want to sit there with the controller. Nice. Something that's a little bit more effort, like jumping into a VR or a cockpit or something like that, one of those kind of rigs, is not general gaming for me, but it is still aspirational. If I had a cockpit, I would probably play a lot of racing games. If I had a VR setup, I would probably play racing games or other types of games. That wouldn't be my go-to gaming, but it was something that I would definitely do a lot more. And that's where it kind of mixes it up for me. My issue with racing games is not that I think racing games are crap, it's just that I've done it. And I want a new experience. VR is a new experience, so I would full well sit in there and just like that Dahl guy that we keep talking about when we talk about Flight Sim, that's got the full 3D animatronic. Yeah, madness. Anyway, next story. Let's jump into our next story. We're going to pick up the pace over these last two because these are just two nice feel-good stories for you guys that are interested in either getting some free stuff or buying some bits for yourself. Particularly buying some bits, particularly if you're bibby. Skyrim, the board game backers get the tabletop sim demo. Crowdfunding begins in November. So this is written by Joshua Henry at The Gamer. There are 3 price packages, the first of which will set you back $95. And if you don't know conversion, that's £95 for some reason, if you go off of what we've just seen in one of the previous articles. Anyway, it's not really, by the way. Bethesda and Modifius Games have given an update on the longer-awaited tabletop version of the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. The board game, which was announced earlier this year, will open for pledges on the crowdfunding game site GameFound early next month. Anyone who backs the game at launch will gain access to the demo. Last week, Modifius Games shared an update on the GameFound page, offering players a peek at the visuals and gameplay. The update also revealed that it will officially launch on Tuesday, November the 2nd. It has been delayed in the past, originally intended to launch back in June, but that was to allow for tweaks to card designs and board layout while getting miniatures approved. It seems as though this new date will stick, though. Modifius also offered a look at the 3 levels of pricing that you can choose: base gameplay and the base gameplay and deluxe. While the gameplay and deluxe tiers have yet to be detailed, the base reward for the core box will set you back 68 quid, which is around $95. It was also announced that anyone who backs the game at launch will gain access to a digital demo. This will be offered through Tabletop Simulator, a digital platform that lets players interact with a virtual version of a physical board game. This simulator is how the team plan to film the gameplay videos for backers. The rest of the update outline the gameplay and what is included in the base package: 2 campaigns, 6 chapters, and a prequel tutorial. Players will begin their turn by drawing an event card. From there, they will explore the caves, mines, tombs, ruins, or Dwemer cities. Then, players will attempt chains of quest cards to earn rewards. Each decision a player makes will change future gameplay, and along the way, players will encounter enemies they must defeat for experience and treasure. These will then be used to level up and learn unique skills that make traversing the game's world easier. This board game is shaping up to be an immersive, physical rendition of the hit RPG Skyrim. You can check it out for yourself when the GameFound page goes live on November the 2nd, or when Bibby buys 27,000 copies of it. Oh, it doesn't say that bit at the end either, but it probably should. Okay, I have nothing to add to this, but we know you do. Skyrim has been uber successful. You can play. You could probably play Skyrim on Tamagotchi these days, but now you can play a tabletop chair. Would you be interested in playing Skyrim, the board game? What are your thoughts, babe?
I would, and I'm kind of pissed at myself that I haven't not backed this, but you have things like the Resident Evil 1 board game got announced yesterday as well and has reached $600,000 worth of funding, and it only required 100,000, so it's absolutely blown that one out of the water. And these are the types of games now. I don't know if it's because I'm getting older, Graham, right? And I've had this conversation with you. I've had this conversation with other people as well. The fact that co-op gaming and going to your mate's house and playing games like on your sofa, you're doing a Master League 2 player and stuff like that, same as that just doesn't exist anymore. And again, it's probably because we're a lot older and it's not as convenient going around to your mates when you're 30 than it was when you was 14, 15, 16-year-olds. But having tabletop games like this, it's piquing my interest, like big time. Like I've just started getting into. Well, I've been into playing Pokemon battles with cards online for a long time, but I'm kind of getting to the point now where when I went to this like a workshop at weekend with Samantha to go and have a look at some of the old games and stuff like that. But they do all the trading card games, upstairs, so you can battle with like Yu-Gi-Oh cards, Digimon cards, Pokemon cards, Magic of the Gathering, all that kind of stuff that 10 years ago, I'd have been shouting you fucking nerd through the window, but now I'm kind of like, have I missed the boat here? Surely I started doing this like 12, 13 years ago rather than, just looking down on it. And this kind of stuff now is seriously getting my attention. This is the type of stuff that I want to go to loading bar for a few drinks and playing these types of games with people, which I definitely wouldn't have done 10 years ago. Don't know if it's because I'm maturing or I'm just getting older or whatever, but these are the types of things that I want to do now.
Old man. He's an old man.
Old man bit.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, at 68 quid, 70 quid, I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer.
A no-brainer to the point where you will be investing or not?
Yes, I don't know whether I'm going to back it now. Obviously, Baby Vivi's coming, and I don't really want to be dropping 70 notes on something just yet. But I do again with the Resident Evil. They've had a Resident Evil 2 board game for 3 years. I haven't picked that up yet, but that's super expensive. Like they've brought out 7 or 8 expansions on the top of that, so you're easily looking at about 300 sheets to be able to play the full version of that one. It's about 70 quid again for the standard board, and then the Resident Evil one got back yesterday. If I had £700 and I didn't need that money, which who doesn't need £700, then I would easily have all of these. Then again, I'd need people to be able to play them with.
Who doesn't need 700
so just
maybe 3 Lambos over there.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's just to fill it once. You know what I mean? But I've actually just googled that tabletop simulator, and it's 15 sheets, and I want to know what games are in that, and then I wouldn't mind setting things up with like our ICU community or some of our other friends and things like that to be able to play these types of tabletop games because I've always wanted. One game I've always wanted to play is Dungeons and Dragons. Like even 10 years ago, I've always wanted to play that because that mythology and stuff. That's always interested me. I've just never been able to play it with anybody.
Yeah. Do you know?
So is this the kind of thing that I want to do?
I've said that before in terms of it was actually a mixture of Stranger Things and the big bubble that followed the back of that. Obviously, Stranger Things had a lot of Dungeons and Dragons themes in it, and then that helped revitalize Dungeons and Dragons. That wasn't all that brought it back. But then at the same time, we had Jacob and Conair, part of the ICU team for a short period of time. 2 brothers that were very interested in D&D, and they were talking about setting up some D&D stuff in the studio. And I was kind of like, and I did a little bit of research at that point in time. I've never been D&D kind of person before that. I like the idea. I do like the idea of any form of social gaming, be it console, taking your TVs around to your mates, like we were talking about the other day, doing your own sort of LAN parties, be it proper LAN parties where you're taking your PCs and stuff around, which was always out of my price budget as a kid, but love the idea of it, or be it sitting around with snacks and drinks and stuff, playing board games, getting fully into character for your board games and stuff like that. It's just, I'm open to the ideas, definitely more than now, and I think it's not just. I think it partially is maturing and that, but also part of maturing is just being more open to opportunities and being more accepting of other people and things, that's probably part of it as well. Anyway, I'm gonna accept that you're done talking about that now, right? Right? Nice.
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't need to say anything else.
Good, because we are jumping onto the last story and wrapping things up. This one is a good one. We always have Free Game Friday. And occasionally a free game Tuesday, Thursday, and today a free game Wednesday. This one does come back, and it's actually, I think, the second month in a row we've had a free game Wednesday talking about PlayStation Plus. For the 3rd month in a row at least, the PlayStation Plus games have been leaked a few days early, and this one has a particularly good one for Ice Cream Uploads. Chris Scullion at VGC has a story that says November's PlayStation Plus games have been revealed early. Knockout City, The Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners, and more are headed to the service next month. So November's PlayStation Plus games have been revealed ahead of Sony's official announcement. According to Bill Kunn on D-Labs, who correctly leaked the PS Plus lineups for September and October, November's free titles will be Knockout City on PS5 and PS4, which is an exceptional game. Let me hit play on that video whilst we're in this. The Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners for PSVR, First Class Trouble on PS5 and PS4, and then Kingdom of Amalur Re-Reckoning on PS4. Sony confirmed earlier this month that November's PS Plus offerings would include 3 PlayStation VR games to celebrate the platform's 5th anniversary. While one of these is Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, Bill Wilkins says they're leaving the other 2 as surprises and believes they may be revealed during the State of Play presentation taking place today. That's at 10 p.m. tonight, by the way, so we will have the recap on that for you tomorrow. October's PlayStation Plus games, which were also correctly leaked by the same person, were Hell Let Loose on PS5, Mortal Kombat X or 10 on PS4, and PGA Tour 2K21 on PS4. Actually, I was going to stop there, but let me read that bit. In August, Sony indicated it's not concerned about a recent decline in PS Plus subscribers and monthly active users. Okay, fine. It's just one of those potentially clickbaity, declining.
Yeah.
But Knockout City is coming to PS Plus. Genuinely, one of the best gameplay experiences I've had in the last 2 years, easy. If you like football games, if you like team battle brawlery kind of games, and you want that wrapped up with a bit of dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge, then Knockout City is exactly that. It is incredible for a game that's free, and it was free-ish for all users for a couple of weeks, and then it was free-ish for EA Play users, but now it's going to be free-ish for PS users. So if you're on PlayStation and you want access to Knockout City and you've not had access to it before, or you didn't get in the early hands-on, make sure you get this game downloaded because it is incredible. What are your thoughts, babe?
Yes. Yeah, it's massive. Massive month this month. I actually thought that the month that we're currently in for PlayStation Plus was a banger. I didn't think it'd get beaten, but I'm fairly certain there's an expansion that's just come out for Walking Dead Saints and Sinners as well. So it's perfect timing really. But the games this month, bangers, mate, bangers. Like the thing is, going into Knockout City now would probably not be as good as it was when it first came out, because everyone was learning the controls. You're probably going to get your ass handed to you unless you get good quick. But again, the games this month are quality. I mean, I've got Kingdom of Amalur on Epic Game Store already. I haven't played it, but this is a lot more. This will be a lot more playable on my PlayStation 5 than it will be on my ancient PC now. So again, this is a game that I really want to dive into as well.
So yeah, if you haven't already, make sure you grab the October games. Obviously, PGA 2K in there is a big shout, but obviously Hell Let Loose and Mortal Kombat 2. But Knockout City, do you know what? When it comes out, I'm going to play a bit more on Knockout City. I really enjoyed playing it. We had a lot of you guys from within the stream. I want to say Iceman joined in, but maybe you didn't.
Jordan did.
Yeah, Jordan did. I think Bacon Chin did. If not, he was just cheering for us while we played it. Mr. Chris Locke, Chaos Riot Zero jumped in. Toby jumped in. And there was someone else from the community. I've completely forgotten the name. The one that did the meow sort of noise in the chat. Who was that? I forgot your name. Notice me senpai. Those sort of messages. I can't remember who that was. But you joined us in the stream anyway. But that will wrap things up. So those are your November PlayStation Plus games: Knockout City, Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, First Class Trouble, and Kingdom of Amalur: Re-Reckoning. Iceman, yes, I did. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
There we go. So we did a few games. We had some long streams playing it as well. Some evening ones, some Saturday morning ones. It was good, which is basically what the schedule is right now. If you haven't seen, we will be on stream again tonight in the evening. We'll be playing PUBG, as well as Saturday morning playing some more PUBG. But that's not just it. It's not just PUBG gameplay. Tomorrow, Bibby will be playing some FIFA on stream. And then on Sunday, it's Halloween, so he will be playing Visage on stream with potentially Mrs. Bibby, who, spoiler alert, is pregnant. So if she jump scares enough, we maybe get Bibby early, which we don't really want.
Bibby.
Which we don't really want. We're being honest, it's a couple of months too soon. No, stay with her. But yes, that is what is due to come. Before any of that happens, though, Mr. Bib, is there anything you'd like to add?
Yes, again, thank you very much for joining us for this episode of The Scoop. That's 3 down, 2 to go. So if you want to help shape those shows, there are 2 ways that you can do that. First of all, find us on social media. It is at Ice Cream Uploads across all major social media platforms, or get involved with our Discord. If you're watching this on any of our on-demand services, go to the description below. All the links that you require will be listed down there for you. All we need from you is a URL plus your thoughts and impressions. We will then give you our thoughts and impressions on the very next show, which will be at what time tomorrow, Mr. Graham Day?
Don't know. 10 a.m.
Yeah, well, not here, are you?
ish, 10 a.m. ish. As we do each and every single weekday, we go live at 10 a.m. ish. Twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads, a live podcast recording, which then gets thrown out onto iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, Google Play, and a video on YouTube, which has been, do you know what, much more successful than we ever expected it to be. I mean, we do get people in the chat with us every single day, which is lovely to see, but over 100,000 people have watched, listened, downloaded, and played the podcast over the last couple of years, which is ridiculous, and we appreciate everything that you've done throughout that time. Do you know what we also would appreciate? Is if you just drop a follow on the channel. If you haven't done already, feel free to drop a follow. That way you will get notified when we go live. Be that at 10 a.m.-ish for the scoops in the morning, the weekend games, or the evening games through the week too. Make sure you follow. That way you get notified, as well as all the social channels. Also, what we'd appreciate is if you just jump into this raid. So we're going to finish up. We're going to drop a raid on Big Hamish88 because he's playing some PUBGs. We haven't said hello to him for the last week or two because usually we try to find someone that could do with a nice little raid. And Hamish usually is doing all right for numbers, so we usually throw in someone else. But it's a nice quiet Wednesday, so we'll drop a raid on Hamish this morning. So feel free to stick around for that raid. Not only do you get channel points, which are those down here in the bottom corner of the screen, not only do you get channel points to spend on stream, which influence the way that our streams roll out, could even buy yourself a sub if you stick around for long enough. But not only that, you make Hamish's day by dropping in with the raid. So make sure you do that. When you drop in as well, can we get some up the ICUs? I'm not sure if you can use the up the ICU emote in his chat. Just say up the ICU or just ICU, whatever. Get some ICUs in his chat. Make sure that you represent. Nice. We are going to disappear though. We're going to jump off. We'll be back tonight with some PUBG gameplay. Until then, have yourselves the most beautiful of grim overcast Wednesdays. Yeah, I was looking out the window. Have yourself the most beautiful grim overcast Wednesday that you could ever have. And until then, what else have they got to do, babe?
Graham, they've got to stay frosty.